Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group would like to present topic 8 about show USN applications from subject telecommunication networking. This is our group team members.
My name is Nurul Hazirah binti JALALUDDIN. My batch number is 16 DEP30083.
My name is NURTASNIM binti SANUSI. My matrix number is 16 DEP20F1002. Introduction. The term ubiquitous is derived from the Latin word ubique, meaning everywhere, but the literal interpretation of a USN as a meaning centers on every single part of the globe. However, remote is not a realistic aim. Instead, a more reasonable definition is based on socio-economic rather than geographical lines and describes a technology which can be available anywhere that is useful and economically valuable to expect to find a sensor rather than everywhere. The concept of availability is wider than just a geographical measure, and the expression anywhere, anytime by anyone and anything has come to be used to illustrate the trend towards a ubiquitous network society. USN stands for Ubiquitous Sensor Network, is a network that enables the collection of information from all types of sensors wirelessly. It installs various types of sensor nodes and monitors condition of target objects in real life. Next,
Okay, next characteristics of USN. First, small scala sensor nodes. Limited power requirement then can be harvested or stored. Able to withstand harsh environmental conditions. Fault tolerant and designed to cope with high possibility of node fault. Support for mobility, dynamic network topology, able to withstand communication failures, heterogeneity of nodes, large scale of deployment. Okay, next.
this is the schematic layers of USN. RFID text is an RFID processor that may be either passive or active, with potentially write functions, wider communication range, and independent power supplies. An active RFID chip is available of two-way communication, whereas a passive tag is read-only. RFID reader. The reader senses and reads the information on the tag and passes it on for analysis. RFID middleware. Like the USN, the RFID network may have its own software for the collection and processing of data. Next.
Okay, next main component of USN. First, USN application and service. Technology platform to enable the effective use of a USN in a given application. Number two, USN middleware. Tasks include sensor, network management and connectivity, event processing, sensor data mining. Number three, network infrastructure, likely to be based on NGN. Number four, USN access network, intermediary or SIM nodes collecting information from a group of sensors and facilitating communication with a control center or with external entities. Number five, sensor network. Network of interconnected sensor nodes exchanging sense data by wire or wireless processing. IP address sensor nodes, possibility of direct connecting to NGN. Non-IP based nodes often managed via gateway. Okay, next.
Next is USN applications. Enabling factors. Connectivity, falling prices for USN components, increasing reliability and decreasing size of sensor nodes, partially independent from electricity networks. Detection. detection of temperatures passing a particular threshold of intruders of bushfires of landmines in former war zone. Track, tracking of items in supply chain management, of vehicles in intelligent transport system, of cattle, beef in the food chain. Monitoring of a patient's blood pressure, of structural health of bridges and buildings, of inhospitable environments. Highly application specific types of sensor, choice of communication protocols and medium, and energy supply. Next,
Net standardization activities in USN. ISO or IEC JTC1 SG30 functional requirements and architecture including NGM viewpoint SC sits on telecommunication and information exchange between systems. IEEE Technical Committee on Sensor Technology IEEE 1451 Working Group for WPAN that's a Wireless Personal Area Network IEEE 802.15 Next IETF 6 low WPAN IPv6 based low power WPAN. Next ZigBee aliasing implementation of WPAN communication protocol. ITU-T SG13 functional requirement and architecture including NGN viewpoints. SG16 is multimedia service description and requirement aspect. SG17 security and object identifier all aspects. JCA NID overall coordinating on USN standard activities within ITU-T study groups and relevant bodies outside ITU. Okay, next.
next is advantages of USN. First, building management solution that offers detailed temperature and humidity controls while making it easy to add or remove sensors. Second, positioning management solution for management positioning and asset management involving vehicles and construction materials. Third, disaster prevention solutions for tracking the status of disasters and to secure escape routes as well as crime prevention solutions for preventing crime in the home and at various facilities, including the implementation of counter-terrorism strategies. Lastly, distribution solution for monitoring the status of temperatures, humidity, and vibrations during the transportation of food products and precision instruments. Next,
Okay, next. Sample application of USNS. First, Intelligent Transportation System ITS. Next, Water Catchment and Ecosystem Monitoring. Next, Real-Time Health Monitoring. Remote Sensing in Disaster Management. Next, Boost Fire Response. Lastly, robotic landmine detection. Next.
okay, next. USN implications for developing countries. Although most of the R&D and standardization work on USN is taking place in developed countries, it is arguably developing countries that will benefit most from the technology, both on the supply and demand sides. For example, when USN are based on RFID technologies, on the demand side, it is likely that the manufacturing of USN components and systems primarily RFID chips and sensors will quickly become a commodity business with a high degree of automation. This could suit the low-level cost locations of developing countries. As a specific example, China has, eme- China has emerged as a leading manufacturer of RFID chips, in part as a result of the demands of developed country retailers such as Walmart. In addition, those developing countries that have an indigenous software programming sectors like India, Philippines, Vietnam are also likely to benefit from contracts for development of USN middleware, requiring a high level of customization for specific applications. On the demand side, it is also likely that developing countries will be major beneficiaries, especially in the field of environmental monitoring. As shown in Figure 4, the countries most at risk from natural disaster related to climate change are mainly developing ones with particular vulnerabilities among least developed countries, LDCs, and small island developing states SIDS. In other applications like landmine clearance of agricultural management, developing countries may be the main users of USN technology in the long term. Okay, next. This is the table of countries most at risk from natural disasters related to climate change. Next.
Next conclusion. Typically, the sensor in a USN are smart sensor which take input from the physical environment and use work in computer resource to perform predefined function upon detection of specific input, and then process data before passing it on. Ubiquitous sensor network taps into the communication equipment in sensor in its defined network or range and collects the data from sensor as well as controlling actuators. Wireless sensor networks WSAN. The previous generation of sensor networks can be easily incorporated into ubiquitous sensor networks. Ubiquitous sensor networks add scalability, through mesh networking, and use of tech USN are fault tolerant. Other capabilities can include real-time location awareness, remote configurability, and the capacity to be related without manual configuration. Ubiquit- Ubiquitous sensor network rise significant issue for both security and privacy. The fact that they incorrect thin sensor and do so in invisibility mean that they can be used to monitor environments subconsciously for surveillance purpose.
Okay, this is the references from our presentation. That's all from our presentation. Thank you for watching.